been through some struggles, have almost died, and then fought back and somehow miraculously came back to life. Y'all, I have this watermelon plant sitting in my window. Like, y'all can see everybody outside doing chores, feeding animals right now through my dirty window. It needs to be pressure washed from the outside because it's clean on the inside. It just needs to be pressure washed on the outside. The outside's really dirty. Gonna have to get a ladder and do that. But I have this watermelon plant sitting in my window that is a sangria watermelon. And y'all are like, why do you have a little potted up watermelon sitting in your window? Well, we just about killed it. I don't know, maybe 2-3 weeks ago, just about killed it because we had accidentally left it in the heat of the summer, and it was yeah, I think it was in the greenhouse, and we had closed it and we had forgotten to roll up the sides and open the greenhouse. Got super hot in there. We almost killed a lot of plants. They were cooking in there. Well, this watermelon didn't take it well at all. I thought it had died. It's still recovering a little bit. You see those crispy little leaves on top? Still recovering a little bit, but the whole thing had gone crispy and black, and I thought for sure we had killed this little watermelon. I thought for sure it was dead. So I brought it inside. I nursed it back to health. We had to do that for a lot of plants. We had to just nurse them back to health and get them in the shade, get them lots of water. It's like when a person has heat stroke. The plant had heat stroke. So we had to try to save it. Obviously it worked. Look, obviously we were able to save it. So it came on back with a vengeance after I put it in my window and just kind of watered it, gave it a little sunlight and a little paper and a little love, talked to it every day, kind of encourage it along. Came back with a vengeance, and now it is growing like crazy. But this vine is going all down in my sink and everything. The vine is going everywhere. So I've got to find a place for this, and it cannot be in my house. It's got to go outside. I can tell that it longs for the dirt and it longs for the sunshine. It wants to be like the big watermelons outside. So I don't know where I'm going to put it or where I'm going to grow it, but I need to find a place for this little melon that I have rescued. Biscuit, do you have your ball? Do you have your ball? Are you ready? Are you ready to throw it? Let me see. Let me see. You ready to throw it? You ready to throw it? Okay. Ready? As far as I could do. See if you can find it. Nope, she lost track of it. Okay, let's try again. There you go. See, we got several balls. We can throw another one. There you go. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl, get the ball. I still got to do something with these bricks. The idea behind these bricks was that they're going to be put under those railroad ties to kind of support them around the frame as they get put up. As my strong husband helps me put up these railroad ties, the bricks kind of help it be leveled out, because if not, we found out that if we stack the railroad ties, they just kind of lean forward. They lean that way down the hill and they topple over. So we got to put a brick under them to kind of level them out and support them. So then it works best. Oh, I've got some weeding to do around my roses. Oh, that's a gnarly weed right there. That's one of those thorny weeds that'll get you, stab you with thorns. Oh, let's see if I can pull it. Oh, nope, broke it off. Let's see if I can get the bottom of it. Ha! Got you, weed, got you. Yeah, I've got a lot of grass and weeds in here. Thankfully, it all comes up kind of easily. It pulls really easily. But I would like to help this rose out. This is like a ground cover thing that grows all over the ground. I'm not sure what it is exactly, but I see it like spreading all over the ground. You know, kind of like, what's it called? There's like a little red clover that spreads all over the ground like that, and it's kind of like that, but it's obviously a weed. It's not something I want around my roses. But I definitely needed to weed around this rose because it's beautiful and it's starting to grow tall. It's starting to bush out. I know it doesn't have a lot of blooms on it right now. It's just too hot. It's so hot for these roses. I need to deadhead it a little bit, but I can see lots of green foliage. It's really healthy. It's getting strong. It's getting established, and I just need to clear out these weeds around it. It's time to put a couple of these tomato cages to good use, and I know just where to go put them this morning. two tomato plants are, they've been held up so far by a step-in post, and they've been kind of stressed and falling over. They need some pruning, and they don't have very much support. So I thought these tomato cages would be perfect to hold up these two. I know y'all probably can't see this one very well, but it's in the back of all these basil plants that need to be trimmed. All this basil needs to be cut down and harvested. We need to freeze dry a lot more basil, but there is a tomato plant behind here, I promise you. There we go. Okay, let me tear off a few diseased looking leaves on the bottom. They always start to get that burnt, the burnt color look on the leaves, you know, the what's it called, the rusted color. Yep. And they always start to look kind of sickly on the bottom because we've had rain recently, and then there's a splash up, and then it starts to get a little bit of that blight going on. Now I'm going to cut this one away from the step-in post because I had tied it and secured it real good to this step-in post. Now I got to untie it. All right. Ooh, yeah. That needs a lot of pruning. That's kind of a monster plant right there. And it's always harder afterwards to try to go in and stick a tomato cage onto an already established plant. It's always harder to do that. So if you're going to use tomato cages, it's really best to put it over a smaller plant that's not so big and bushy and established, because once they get established, it's hard to train them up into this tomato cage. Okay, now I'm just trying to situate this foliage and all these leaves and branches in such a way that they will still get airflow, that they will have support to grow upwards, but still have some airflow going on. Whew. And pruning will definitely help with airflow. So let me go get my pruners. Okay, let's see what we can do here. As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the robe and crown. Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, mothers, let's go down, come on down. Oh, mothers, let's go down, down in the river to pray. As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown. Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, brothers, let's go down, don't you want to go down? Oh, brothers, let's go down, down in the river to pray. As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the robe and crown. Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, sisters, let's go down, come on down. Oh, sisters, let's go down, down in the river to pray. That looks much, much better. I think they're a lot happier. I feel like they're gonna breathe better, grow better. I think they're gonna like it. It's good. So I recently found out that mullein, I was looking up the uses for it, and Lily usually knows this stuff. Lily, my daughter, is our resident herbalist, and she's usually the one that knows all about this and knows about herbs and stuff, but she couldn't remember the use for mullein. Well, I didn't know it either, so I looked it up. Did y'all know that mullein is used for respiratory issues? It treats, it helps to treat pulmonary issues, and you can boil it, and just breathe it in. Just breathe in the steam as you're boiling the leaves, or you can make a tincture. And if y'all don't know how to make a tincture, a lot of people didn't at the farmer's market. I asked them if they've ever made a tincture. They didn't know what a tincture was. So I like to educate people as I try to sell plants. So I told them that you take some strong alcohol, like vodka or something, a really good strong alcohol, and you crush up these leaves. You just harvest a lot of these leaves and crush them up and put them in that alcohol and let them soak, and put in a jar like with a lid on it or something, and let it sit and let it soak for about a month. You're gonna leave it alone for a long time, like a month. And all that medicine, all that medicinal goodness is gonna seep out of those leaves. It's gonna draw that medicine out into that alcohol. So it's gonna saturate that alcohol with the medicine. So then after about a month, you take your jar of liquid and leaves and you strain it out, and the stuff that you're left with after you strain it is your medicine. And so then you take like a dropper full of that and you just put it in your drink every day. Just take like a little bit, all it takes is a little. Just take a little draw of that and just put a dash of it in your coffee, in your drink, or you can just put it straight into your mouth and just take it every day. So that's how you make a tincture. And this will help with inflammation in the lungs, respiratory issues, breathing issues. It's supposed to really help your breathing to get better. Do y'all remember my comfrey plant? This is my comfrey plant. So it got huge, but it also got cooked. Y'all can see the charred leaves and the browning and the blackened leaves. Don't worry, it's not dead, it's not dying. It is a hardy plant. This thing will live through almost anything. Even if I chopped it off ground level, it would still grow back and come back like Lazarus. Very hard to kill, just like mint. It's hard to get rid of comfrey, which is a good thing here in the South because it has been cooking this plant. It's not happy with the heat of the sun. It's not as beautiful and lush and uncharred as it was. It's not loving the summer heat, but it's still going, it's still living, and that's good. It's just still thriving, and I can still use these leaves. These leaves are perfectly usable. And do y'all remember what comfrey is for? Comfrey is the knit bone herb. It's called the knit bone herb. It is so good at healing. It is a super healer. So you put this on any cut, open wound, or even a broken bone, and it just heals it up so fast. It heals your skin. And what it does is it just kind of rejuvenates the cells. It kickstarts your cells into into making new cells. So it's just making your body produce these new cells to just promote your healing and kickstart your healing and your body's response to say, I have a wound, I need to cover it and close it. So that's why it's called the knit bone herb, because it really, really helps that process to speed up, and it can even heal bones faster. So this is a really good herb to have for like a poultice or like any sort of wound that you need to cover with a herb, with a herbal remedy. Y'all know I gotta go check on these pumpkins for a hot second and see how they're doing out here. I know they're still alive, and it just rained on them. There. Oh yeah. I see the little vines everywhere. I also see all the growth in the weeds and the stick. I also see the little pumpkin vines. Yep, I see them. They're coming. They're growing. Ooh, look at it, look at it. Oh, they're so pretty. I'll just be over the moon excited if that makes a pumpkin. If that makes any sort of pumpkin on that vine, I'll just be super thrilled. That would be amazing. Speaking of growing wild and explosions of growth, y'all, look at this. Bam! That is watermelon that I just stuck in my raised bed. That raised bed is just being taken over. It's just overgrown with all these plants. My goodness. I may have gotten a little too excited when I planted that raised bed. I stuck so many things in there because I didn't have room for anything else, and I had more plants, and I was like, where am I going to put them? So I put them in my raised bed. Now it has exploded with growth. I've got a little eggplant, I've got some mums, I've got some lemongrass, I've got basil, I've got the watermelons, of course, I've got some oregano, I've got perennial and seasonal things in here, even some zinnias. I'm just waiting to find a little watermelon hiding in here real soon. This mums is just huge and healthy. I love this mums. I'm so proud of it. That eggplant is probably my best and healthiest eggplant. This lemongrass is going crazy. And of course the basil's happy. And minimal weeding, because everything else has just kind of shaded out the weeds and has kind of outgrown the weeds. So minimal weeding, yay. That is a huge honking zucchini that is growing. Look, the flower's not even done on it. It's not done growing, but that's gonna be a big one. This is a big, healthy zucchini plant. And I know it looks like it's overshadowing my Peggy Martin, and it is. It's growing taller and bigger than the Peggy Martin, but the squash is only here for a season. It's only here for a short time, and then I pull it out. The Peggy Martin is here to stay, and it won't completely shade it. It won't take away all the sun from the Peggy Martin, I promise. The Peggy Martin is a survivor. It can outlast that squash, and it can grow just fine right next to that squash. It seems to be thriving. They seem to be coexisting really well. Same thing with this one, except this one isn't quite as big, the Peggy Martin or the squash. I think they both were just smaller plants and had a later start. It's gonna get there, and this one doesn't have as much thriving zucchini on it. You can see a rotted one here that didn't get pollinated. Let me go ahead and pull that off. But yeah, I'm hoping for some zucchini off of this one because the plant looks really good. It's just gotta play catch up just a little bit. I love you, Bashy boy. I'm thinking about you. I miss you, my sweet Bashy boy. Your music is pretty. This purple print zinnia is doing wonderfully. It's doing beautifully. And this tomato plant next to it is doing awfully. Doing horribly. Maybe it can outgrow it. Maybe if I cut off all these spotted, disease-looking tomatoes that don't look great, they're not going to make good fruit. Maybe if I cut those off and if I trim off all the bottom leaves, maybe this can outgrow whatever's going on with it. I know that looked like a hard prune, guys. I know that was a very harsh cut, and all that we have left is just some top foliage and one fruit, but it really needed to be done. All of that foliage on the bottom and all that fruit had to go. Look, all that stuff was just bad and just had blight and brown and rusting on it. And I really think it's gonna be healthier now. I really think it's gonna outgrow it now. Oh, I've got some work to do on these. I'm like ashamed to show you these tomatoes. Oh my goodness. I definitely have some work to do. The same thing with these. They've only got some healthy top foliage, and the rest of it at the bottom is just, it's just petering out. It's got blight. It's just falling to pieces. I think since these are indeterminates, they may just keep growing and they may grow out of it. I don't know. The summer is really hot. Our environment is really humid and wet. I don't know. But maybe they can pull through. Maybe they won't. I'm willing to give them a shot though. Okay, beautiful. Yeah, I can tie these all up on the outside of the trellis, on the outside of this rounded cattle panel that we have, and just let it keep growing. I can just let it grow and vine up to its heart's content. I love it. The catnip is making a comeback. They don't like this summer heat either, but I think these big plants and marigolds and zinnias, I think, are shading it out just enough so that it can thrive a little bit and make a bit of a comeback. I like this catnip. I want to grow it everywhere. The cats love it. They don't go crazy on it. They don't, like, you know, eat a lot of it and then go nuts. They just kind of, they smell it, they rub on it, they like it, and it's pretty in the garden. Y'all, if y'all want to know what kind of humidity we have here in Alabama, here's your sign. Look. Look at my face. This is the proof. Look, I am like mopping sweat off my face. I'm like pouring sweat. This is the humidity, like a hot, wet blanket. And it's gotten to that point. I tried to get out here early to try to get some of this done before the heat set in, but now the heat is coming. I feel the sun beating down on my back. The heat is here. It's about to get real hot and steamy, and I'm about to start sweating a lot more, so I gotta hurry up. My one little peony plant. I put it in this tub and put some basil around it, and I was hoping it'd be happier here. It is happier. It's not burning up as bad as it was. It's not dying. It's actually living, but I don't know that it's thriving. I don't know that it's super happy here. I just know that it's alive here. So alive I'll take, but I would prefer that it be like happy and super thriving and healthy and luscious and beautiful. So I'm not sure about the exact location of where I should move this tub to, but I'm going to find a place where this peony is happy, because peony is something I want in my life. Anybody want any daisies, y'all? We have millions. We have lots and lots of daisies. I've got to get in here and divide all these daisies and separate them into individual plants. I probably have thousands of daisies. If anybody likes Shasta daisies, we do sell them. Please come locally or to our farmers markets or to our sales or even to our house. Come to our house here and buy from off the farm and we will give you Shasta daisies. To go inside to get my cold wet rag and my sun hat. It has gotten to that point. I can't survive outside without my wet rag just to wipe my face and stay cool, and my sun hat to keep the sun off of me. Can't work out here without them, y'all. Gotta have it, gotta have it. The next job I have to do, it's gonna require some gloves and it's gonna require some loppers. Let's do it. The rose that I have had in my little flower bed out front right here by my kitchen door has been wonderful to experience and to try to grow it and to see it grow and try to trellis it. But my husband is right. It does have problems. It has issues. It has disease in it. It has a viral disease that just cannot be gotten rid of. You can't get rid of it once a rose has it. So it's not a healthy rose. It's a sickly rose. I want a healthy rose to climb that trellis right by my rose bed. So that's not the rose for me. So we're going to have to tear that one out. We're going to have to take it out. And I am going to cut it off ground level right there in the dirt where I planted it. I'm going to cut it off and get all those branches out, pull everything out, untie it from the trellis and just tear the whole thing out. And I will choose the right rose in the future, in the fall or winter time, to plant that rose in my beautiful flower bed to trellis over my arbor, and it will be wonderful. Now, the one issue though, the one problem is that this tomato plant was also hanging on to that rose. It was using the rose to climb up and it was trellised by the rose. So now that the rose is gone, tomato plant flopped. So I am gonna have to figure out some sort of way to stabilize that and hold it up and trellis it up there. So I'll probably just tie it up that post and train it to keep growing up the post, because I also believe that's an indeterminate tomato as well. So it'll just keep growing and growing and growing. Okay, I got a lot of good pieces of tomato twine here, so we're gonna see if we can tie this thing up and help it live again. now that I've pruned it severely, and now it's got minimal foliage on it, and now it's tied up on this post so it can maybe trail on up there. Now we're gonna see how it does. I think it'll do well now. All of my flowers in my green stalk here were looking so good and glorious and luscious, and now they're getting spots all over them. The flowers are starting to, the humidity and the heat, the burning heat is starting to take its toll. I'm hoping they can hang in there and just keep blooming through the summer. I know they won't last through all of the fall and winter. I know it's just a seasonal thing to have these pretty flowers. I know it is but a season, but I'm hoping that they can last through the season. Maybe they can hang in there. And a lot of these still look healthy. The petunias look great, but some of these are just kind of have a lot of spot issues, and you can tell something's getting to them and something's on them. Especially the zinnias down there, the little zinnias at the bottom where all the splash and dirt happens and stuff. You can tell that that's not as happy, so it's okay. Still got blooms, still beautiful. I'm still enjoying this beautiful green stalk full of flowers for now. And of course, I've got to eat my strawberries while I'm out here. I got to munch on some strawberries, y'all. Best part of summer right there. Best part. Even the strawberries are petering out, though. They're not giving me as much, and you know, I'm not finding as many berries every morning because 'tis but a season, guys. 'Tis a seasonal thing, and it comes and goes. It ebbs and flows, and there's a season for berries and there's a season for no berries. Y'all want to see something hilarious, something just miraculous about nature that I love so much? This strawberry plant right here, this big bushy one, has played hopscotch. It just hop, hop, hop to the next cell in this green stalk. It has literally taken its runner. I don't know if y'all can see that. Y'all can take its runner. It went whoop over here into the next cell, and it has a nice little plant that it has become right here with its runner. It has turned into a plant. Then that plant took a runner and went whoop and hopped over to the next cell. And then right here is the little plant that it made. Can y'all see that? The little strawberry plant that it's made down there. And then that plant took a runner right here and went whoop and hopped over into the next cell. And it is, yep, it has almost rooted itself. Look, it's growing roots. It has just about rooted itself into the next cell of dirt. That is so cool. The strawberry plants love to plant themselves. They love, their runners love to just find the dirt and play hopscotch from one spot to the next. That's how they make more plants. That's how they make babies and procreate. Nature is just miraculous. I love it. I love how it works. Guys, my stomach is now telling me that it is breakfast time. I have not had my breakfast. I've been doing all this outside before breakfast. I just got way too excited and rushed out here and did it. But my stomach is telling me that it's hungry and I need my Creo brew. I need my minute to cool off and catch up on the day and plan out the other things I got to do inside and with the kids, and just plan out our 4th of July. By the way, happy 4th of July. And it is a wonderful day that we celebrate, but also my husband is off work. He has a federal job, so he's off work today. I love that. So we are going to utilize that day off. We are going to enjoy that, honor that, and celebrate that. We're not only going to have family fun and do family things today and go shopping at Sam's Club and some other things that we got to do, but also we're going to take care of some things around the farm, and I have his help and his manly muscles to help me to get some things done that I wanted done, that we have been needing done. So for right now, I need to go inside and get some breakfast. Oh, that was a good breakfast. Okay, may have been just cold cereal, but that hit the spot. I love me some cold cereal sometimes, just quick and easy and simple. A lot of times I'll cook oatmeal or grits or eggs or make a big old, procession breakfast, thing for all the kids and us. But today it was just cold cereal morning. Ooh, it was nice and cool out here. Now the sun has come out, but that's good for drying hay. The sunshine is good for letting a hay bale dry, because it did get rained on one time. We didn't get it under shelter quick enough, and it got rained on one time. But it will dry out with putting it under shelter and having it out here in the sun for a little bit. It's already starting to dry. It's not too wet. It's good. It wasn't too bad of a rainstorm, and we only had one pass through. Now you will notice, family, that every one of these plants that I have dealt with in this video has been some sort of a survivor story. It has been a veteran plant that has been around for a while. So I just wanted to do that as a tribute today, to kind of honored the plants that have been through some struggles, have almost died and then fought back and somehow miraculously came back to life with a little help from us, but mostly because of their will to live, because they wanted to carry on and they wanted to live. Every one of these plants that I've been dealing with, that I've been helping along for a while now, they just seem to have this inner strength, you know, they just seem to have a joy for life and a will to live. And I consider them to be my veteran plants, you know. So I was thinking about that this 4th of July. I was thinking about, you know, honoring today, our holiday of our Independence Day, and what it means. And I was thinking about all the people that had a will for freedom and a will to live and a will to survive and a will to carry on and a will to enjoy life the way that they wanted to, the way that they saw fit, without just giving up and dying, you know. And I truly believe that our veterans deserve that honor and that praise for their strength and their capacity to carry on and their will to survive and their will to protect what they love, and which is us, you know, their ultimate sacrifices and their show of just true love for us, and they cared so much to protect us and keep us safe and give us a happy home where we can live as we see fit. And I see that through my plants. That's just how I express it, is through my plants. And I see these survivor plants, and I see this vegetation that wants to give beauty in the form of flowers, and it wants to give food and sustenance in the form of vegetables and fruit. And I think there's glory in that, there's honor in that, that is worthy of praise. And so I just wanted to show today's video as the plants that have struggled through and the plants that have overcome, the plants that have been through adversity and yet they have succeeded and they have carried on with life, and they are still living, still happy, still thriving, and I bet they're going to continue to. I want to see if they can make it through the whole summer season. So I wanted to show you the plants that I believe have the most grit, the most gusto for life. They're the sturdiest plants, the hardiest plants, and I appreciate them. I honor them. I just watch them with such joy and fascination at how they can survive and how they can carry on and not only just live through it, but now they can thrive and they can be their best plant selves, as we can be our best people selves. And I know we can. Through adversity, we always become our better selves. So I hope y'all take this as a day to remember what you can do to help and to serve. There are so many people that we can serve and lift up and praise. And remember to praise the works of your own hands, to go out and see all the wins and all the successes in your life. Everything that you've grown, everything that you've done, everything that you've learned makes you a better person. It makes you better able to serve. It makes you better able to help. It makes our country better. It makes us as a people better. Remember to honor yourself a little bit, to give yourself that praise and that pat on the back and attaboy or attagirl for helping in all the ways that you have helped. And remember to look forward to the future of any way that you can help others. And you can definitely help the ones that have served our country, that stand in need of help or that stand in need of comfort. There are ways that you can serve others, and you can show your gratitude for the ones who have given the ultimate sacrifice. You can support their family members. You can support their memory. You can do things that can help those that have sacrificed a lot to protect our country and to show us love. You take it as a day of joy and a day of honor and a day of remembrance and a day of love for people who loved us so much that they sacrificed for us. And that is the ultimate sign of charity and true love, is it not? Happy 4th of July, guys. We love you. We honor you, veterans. My husband is one, and I honor and love him so much. Happy 4th of July, and I will see y'all soon. Love you. Bye.